What's up, guys? A big hefty box here for the Megami Device Sugumi Kanagata Ga-Shin version. So if you guys have not seen my original review for the original version of Sugumi Kanagata from the Aegis Megami Device collaboration release, I loved this kit. It was a really great kit of the original version, and so this new kind of basically recolored version, we'll see what else is different about the kit in there. Mostly just a recolor, I believe, but very much looking forward to checking out this kit here again, and I would highly recommend you guys to check out the review of the original version if you've not seen that. But for now, let's go ahead and get into the Ga-Shin version for today's video. Alright, so as usual for the Megami Device line, beautiful character art illustration here on the front, and you have it so where the character and the titling all is in this gloss finish, the white background is in a matte finish, so it does give you that very premium feel here for the box. You have the Megami Device Collabo Aegis logos up there, Sugumi Kanagata Ga-Shin. Down here we have some additional text about this particular character right there, and just to give you guys a nice close-up look at the character illustration. I love the fact that the illustration here on the box does also even feature some markings on some of the equipment. Not too many, but you can see some, like a little bit here on her weapon, for example, but a lot of really great detail and really nice character illustration here for the box art. The side of the box is going to feature the same thing here. This is A5.1, being this is the 0.1 variation of A5, which would be the original Sugumi Kanagata kit. Interestingly, as you can see, this is in the larger size box, but it's not the same front and back. A lot of these kits, typically, it'll be the same artwork on the front and the back of the box. This box is just kind of a little bit different. On the bottom of the box here, we can see images of what the kit is going to look like, fully built and painted front and back there, all of that awesome armor, everything on there, and then the unarmored version as well also does look very nice. So there's a couple different images showing some different poses and accessories that we have included with this, kind of how that sword can be used in different ways. We also have some cool effect parts included in there as well. Around here on the other side of this big heavy box, we've also got a look at the included face parts that we have, so those look pretty nice. We've got some waterside decals, some stickers, and then here's a look at how the kit is going to look completely unpainted, just built straight out of the box. Looking very nice there like that. The list price for this one over here at 12,000 yen, so right around $110 around there, something like that. So it's definitely a bit more of an expensive one, but I can tell you that it's a big box with a ton of stuff in here, and that means a lot of runners, and more runners means more expensive to produce. So that's where you get that high price MSRP here for this one. But like I said, I really enjoyed this kit, and so I would say it's definitely worth the price. Let's take a look at our other contents we have included in here. So first off, there are those waterside decals. You have some eye decals, and then some other like face decals for the mouth and everything. Some markings, and then some logos there in white, black, and yellow. Those look really cool. And then here are the foil stickers. Now, as we saw in the original kit, the foil stickers work all right, and they definitely do add a little bit of further color separation that we unfortunately don't have in separated parts. So you can use those if you do want to enhance the look of the kit a little bit. Otherwise, I mean, they're pretty optional. And then we've got our instruction manual, which interestingly does not have the character here on the front, but it's actually a wraparound image to the back. So just because of the way that the art is done for the box, recreated here on the instruction manual, it goes that way. So anyway, on the inside cover here, some Aegis info, and then another additional illustration, some more images of the fully painted build there of the kit in a few different poses, looking pretty awesome. Really great for a posing guide there for you guys if you're having trouble posing the kit. On the inside of our parts list over here, we've got those darkened sections are going to be leftover parts that are not going to be used for this kit, so you will have a handful of leftover parts, it looks like. The rest of the contents in here are all going to be the construction, so you'll build up the normal mode, and then you'll build up all of the equipment and kind of put it all together here towards the end. At the very last couple of pages here, we've got our color and decal sticker guide. So there's your color guide there, and then it's showing you where all of the decals and stickers are going to be placed around on the kit like that. And here we do also have a code card for the game. I don't play the game, so I'll happily share this with you guys if you want to use that. Hopefully one of you can make use of that. All right, so we've got some of our pre-printed face parts here. 1, 2, 3 of those, and some of our other pre-printed parts like these dark blue parts here for the head with some white printed on them, and some more parts for around on the body here. Looks like more dark blue with yellow. Some parts there with some very nice pre-printing on those. Then we've got some of our hand parts here, some special ones like the peace sign hands and the pointing hands. to the standard ones like standard weapon holding hands, resting hands, open resting hands, holding hands with a fixed wrist, extended trigger finger hands, closed fists, and expressive open hands. And let's get into the runner here, starting with runner U here, which is the arm for the base in a kind of clear greenish blue. And I will tell you guys, we have no less than actually 51 runners with this kit. So you can see exactly where that price is coming into play just because of the sheer amount of runners that we have here. So getting into it, here's runner A, all of our hair parts in a kind of reddish brown. Runner B and B2 are going to be all of our skin tone colored parts here. Runner C is some parts here for the body in a very dark gray, basically black. Then we've got a bunch of parts in this dark blue, slightly purplish dark blue. For example, here is runner C2. Runner D here for some more parts for the body, arms, and legs. We have a regular runner D there. It looks like some equipment parts, and then another runner D2, a different one, and then also another kind of side part there, more runner D2. Another runner D, which is actually the same as this one, we have also in this nice slightly orangish yellow color. Runner E, we have two different E runners. One is just going to be all of the wrist joint parts in this really dark gray, and then this other runner E is some more joint parts and also hand parts here as well. This other runner E is some more joint parts here in that dark bluish purplish color. Runner F, also in that clear greenish blue kind of color here, is the parts for the standard Megami Device display base. Runner G, a couple of wrist parts here. Runner H1 is some more parts in that orangish yellow. We've got two of those for a very nice accent color. Runner I1, some more armor parts here in that dark bluish color. We've got two of those, some of the larger pieces of armor. And then I2 as well, we also have two of these. Runner J is a small little runner here in dark gray. And the next bunch of runners is all in this kind of brownish gray color here for the mechanical aspects of the equipment. So we've got two of the K runner here, also two of the K2 runner, two of the L runner, one of runner M1, and then two of runner M2. Next up, runners N, N2, and O are some more of the clear green effect parts, especially for like connecting the backpack and equipment parts onto the kit. Runner P, some parts here in white for the equipment. A different runner P for some more of our orangish yellow parts. Runner Q we have two of for some more white parts for the equipment. Runner R2, very interesting in this like purplish metallic kind of color there. Runner U2, we've got two of these in that dark blue. Runner R is essentially black. It looks like a really dark purple, but it's basically black here. We've got two of those. Same kind of black color here for the S runner. Runner T is our clear orange effect parts, which look really awesome. Runner U is a single piece here for the shield, and then runner W is a couple more weapons pieces there in that dark black color. Runner Y1 is in this really nice molded gold, which looks really good. This is going to be another very nice accent color there for the kit. Same with this Y2 runner, which is the last of our yellowish orangish colors there. And finally, last but not least, runner Z is some more joint parts, and that's it. Alright guys, and here's Sugumi all built up. This is obviously just the base form that we're going to be starting off taking a look at here for the review. Then we'll take a look at all of her accessories and everything that she comes with is really cool, very awesome equipment that she has, weapons and equipment, and then we'll combine everything and take a look at the full form, which is really awesome. I have to say, I really enjoyed the first version of this kit, and this version is, I gotta say, very cool as well. And as nice as the base form is just on its own, I gotta say the weapons and equipment that come with this set are just so cool, so let's go ahead and get right into those. So one of the things that we have is a bunch of leftover parts, some of them more noteworthy than others. Some of them are just going to be from the original version of the kit, but for example, you have like the original thigh parts here if you wanted to have just like the full skin tone thighs and not have like the shorts there on those. For example, you have a bunch of leftover parts. And kind of going from the head down, so we have obviously our alternate version for the front of the hair here, which has those ornamental kind of equipment parts there on the top, which are really nice and look cool. Those are going to look cool once you add those. It's just a matter of just swapping the front bangs part there. And of course, our face option parts here, which as always look really nice with the pre-printing on those. There's the first two, and the third one right here. Really nice expressions that we have to choose from for this kit. And then we do have a couple of options here for the neck. Basically one that is going to make the neck a little bit longer if you want to kind of a little bit slightly increased range of articulation. And then a couple of alternate alternate neck pieces for if you wanted to put this head onto a Figma, or if you wanted to put like a frame arms girl or some other different head onto this kit. You have options there with those parts. And then for our hand option parts, we've got kind of the full range of normal options: open resting hands, closed fists here. We've got holding hands with a fixed wrist. Those are just kind of added on, or molded in, I should say. And then holding hands for the left and the right side, some with the trigger finger extended, some without. We've also got pointing hands, open expressive hands like this, as well as peace sign hands, giving you all sorts of useful hand option parts. We've got our standard Megami Device base here, which is very nice. The ball joint at the bottom, a ball joint at the top, and the connection piece can be slid up and down on this rail. And you have two options for the connection piece there at the top. One is just a straight connection, one that is at an angle, which can be useful. And then because this kit is going to be rather hefty once we have all the equipment added onto it, we have this larger, more substantial connection arm, which is just going to plug into the base. And we have a couple of points of articulation here with this. Although I tend to find that this one, although it doesn't look like much, actually usually works pretty well, perfectly well, depending on what you want to do. If you want to have the kit kind of elevated a little bit more off the ground, then using this thicker arm is probably going to be the way to go. All right, so as for the rest of the body, the torso and arms are not going to change as we go into the kind of fully armed form, but the legs are going to be swapped out. So here we have the armored legs. As usual, we're just going to take off the legs here from the middle of the thigh down and exchange those out for these new leg parts. Now, you remember we did have this sticker sheet. Some of those stickers are going to go like on these leg parts here. I opted not to use the stickers this time around. I did use these on the review of the original version. And they do look pretty nice, and of course they add that extra little bit of color separation that you don't unfortunately get with just the kit straight out of the box. But I think the details and the color separation, even if you plan to not use the stickers, I mean, the kit still is going to look fantastic. But if you want a little bit more color accuracy, you can throw those stickers on there as well. But the legs look really nice. You have these clear parts right here at the back of the leg, which look really cool there. And this is just going to work fairly normally, but you can see the knee bend here. It's kind of like right in the middle. It's not as high as you might think. So when you bend the knee, is kind of a large section of this lower part of the leg, which is actually going to go forward there with the knee bend. And then at the bottom here, of course, you have these kind of clawed feet, which are articulated as well. You can actually open this up and extend this forward so that you can actually have those clasping onto something or something like that, for example. So cool, something different, something unique. And then we have the weaponry here first, starting off with the sword shield combination here. This is just something that can be handheld in one of the hands. As you can see, the sword is just slotted into the back of the shield there, which looks pretty cool here in black, the white handle and a black blade. But yeah, here's how the shield is going to look without that, but it certainly makes for a cool combination with the two of these together. There, like that, very nice. And then the rifle here as well, which is going to also be in primarily black, but some very nice detail on here, like for example this text on the side of the rifle right there, as well as once again those clear blue-green parts adding a nice little bit of detail in there as well. Nothing really too much else that you can really do with this. This part is going to move right there, but that's kind of about it. Once again, this is also just going to be handheld and work pretty simply. But then we have these new parts here, which as these are going to start out, we have two of these, and this is like the rifle mode. So you can see it's kind of a rifle barrel right there at the end, and the handle is just going to work in there like that. But we can actually then close this up, and this part's also going to kind of transform a little bit here at the end. And we're going to be able to combine these parts together. I'll show you how that's going to look in a moment to make one big, massive Buster Sword, which is going to be very cool. And we do have a few different connection pieces that are going to be used for that. But again, I'll show you how that's going to look here in just a moment. One last thing, of course, is going to be her large back-mounted equipment here. These wing parts, there's a ton of parts in here, and it's all kind of movable, although there's not really too much point to moving this stuff around. But basically, like, you can move these parts here on the side, you can move these, you can move these. This part's here on the back will open up there. Unfortunately, no effect parts included for like the blast effect out the back, which would have been nice out of the back of there, but we do have these awesome effect parts which are going to fit in the side parts in here. There we go. If you fit those in place, it's going to look like that. So those look really awesome, and this is just going to plug straight onto the back of the figure. And then we have these lower parts down here, which again kind of have a few points of articulation, bits that will move, but essentially they're just kind of meant to be your equipment, which is just kind of there in the background sort of the character. But again, fantastic color separation, really nice detail around on these parts, and it's going to look pretty awesome. So let's get her all equipped and we'll take a look at some poses here. So overall, as I think you guys will see here, taking a look at some poses, another awesome kit here in the line. And one thing though, there on the backpack, those cannon parts, I forgot, do actually rotate, and they are actually not just used as kind of like thrusters there at the back, but they are meant to be like cannon weapons, so those will rotate to the front and can be used as such. And then also, as far as the extra parts go, I don't believe that we have all the extra parts to make like the claw weapons from the original kit, although I could be wrong about that, and I would have to go back and look at the manual from the original kit and check the parts and everything. But if you guys have seen anything about that, do feel free to leave a comment and I'll pin that for people's reference. But among the extra parts, you do have a lot of the parts from the original claw weapons. Just not sure if it's all of them. Anyway, an awesome kit that gives you a ton of really cool stuff in there. The weapons, both new and old, are really cool. The rifle, the shield and sword combination from the original kit are awesome. And then of course the new parts for the new weapon, which are those like long rifles, which combine to make that big massive buster sword, are really cool as well. Of course, who doesn't like a giant sword? And one which is in particular styled so interestingly as this one with like the lightning bolts on it and everything. It's just a really cool style to this one, and in a different color scheme too. And then there's just the different parts to the character herself in terms of just her body, the suit being different from the original version. So it's one of those situations where it's kind of mostly just a color scheme, but there's definitely enough different with this release compared to the original one that I think it definitely warrants getting both if you're a fan of the design, which I think this is one that is definitely one of my favorites in the line, just because you get so much in the box for one, and it's just a really cool, very interesting design there with some really awesome parts included. And so if you don't have either of these kits yet and you were wanting to get one, and if you were to ask me which one should I get, it would be kind of hard to decide because I think they both are really nice in a little bit different ways. This one, obviously, I think you get a little bit more in the box with those new weapons, but all things considered, I would basically just tell you just to go with whichever color scheme you prefer if you had to get one. Although, like I said before, I think there's enough different about the two of them that it would certainly warrant getting both and adding both to your collection if you so choose. But that's just about going to do it here for this review, guys. Let me know your thoughts on the kit down in the comment section below, and if you want to check out this kit and more from the Megami Device line, you can check the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. Got all sorts of great stuff there, and everything else from Kotobukiya as well there at the website, so check that out. And as always, guys, thank you so much for all of your support, liking the video, making sure that you're subscribed. It all helps out a great deal, so I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. Until next time, hope you all have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.